Hello, how are you? Today I'm going to tell you what happens in your body when you eat kale every day. Kale is one of the healthiest and most complete vegetables that exist. It has many very interesting nutrients. I will tell you more about this. And it is also one of the most versatile. It has a mild flavor, so it goes well from breakfast to dinner. And I will give you several ideas. Stay until the end, you won't want to miss it. If you love tips on nutrition, health, and fitness, you will love the channel. Take advantage, subscribe, and activate the bell. I have new videos every day. You will love them. Let's start talking a bit more about kale because I personally love kale. I think it's very versatile. I'll give you several ideas later. Kale has many incredibly beneficial nutrients for our health. It has a very fascinating nutritional composition. So let's talk about what happens if you regularly consume more kale in your daily life. The first thing is that it is a great source of antioxidants for your daily life. Many people say they would like to consume more antioxidants, but it's expensive to buy supplements. But you don't need to buy supplements if you can add more natural sources of antioxidants such as fruits and vegetables. And kale, for example, is very rich in flavonoids, polyphenols, quercetin, camphorol, vitamin C, beta-carotene. So it is very rich in various different antioxidants. And antioxidants help to minimize those damages caused by free radicals. A free radical is an unstable molecule that we produce in our body, even just by breathing. So we will always have free radicals in our body. And the antioxidant serves to inactivate this unstable molecule and prevent it from damaging some cells, which can even lead to health problems in the future, the onset of some diseases. So adding more antioxidants is very important, and kale will be a fantastic way to do that. In addition, you can have a significant improvement in your immunity because besides the antioxidants I mentioned, it is also very rich in vitamin C, and vitamin C is one of the most studied vitamins for improving our immunity. I even have a playlist here talking more about different immunity tips, juices, teas, recipes you can make. And vitamin C is always present there because it truly makes an impact, having a significant effect on improving our immunity. Kale is also very interesting for the good health of our blood. Sometimes we don't think about blood health, about the good proportion of cells that are there, but it is very rich in vitamin K, which is closely related to improved healing and coagulation. And it is also very rich in iron, which is related to the production of hemoglobin. And as I mentioned that it is rich in vitamin C, it helps to enhance the bioavailability of this iron, which is non-heme iron. So I even have a video here on the channel talking more about anemia, the best and worst foods, the difference between heme iron and non-heme iron, and I will leave that here below in the description for you. Kale can also greatly help your cardiovascular system, your heart, to function better. This is because it is a super rich source of fiber. We know this very well. And these fibers help to excrete part of the cholesterol precisely in the feces, thus reducing the risk of some cardiovascular diseases because increased cholesterol is closely related to some heart problems. And because it contains fibers in a very interesting amount, it can help regulate cholesterol levels. Kale is also a great source of calcium. Many people still think a lot about milk as the best source of calcium. It is a good source, yes, but not only dairy foods have calcium. I even have a video here talking about various non-dairy sources that are good sources of calcium, and kale is one of them. So I will leave this video here if that interests you more. In addition, kale is very rich in potassium, which helps reduce bloating and can even aid in weight loss for some people. As I mentioned, kale is very rich in fiber, so consuming more kale daily will help your intestines function better. This is because fibers are closely related to intestinal function, helping to expel the stools that are stuck there. The fibers make themselves known in the intestines, thus promoting peristalsis and the excretion of stools. And this also helps to reduce that bloated belly appearance that some people have due to stagnant stools. Moreover, consuming more kale every day can also help you lose weight because kale has a very low caloric value. It is very rich in fiber, so it provides a lot of satiety with few calories. This is what we call a food with low caloric density. I even have a list of others similar to kale, which have few calories but provide a lot of satiety and can help you lose weight. I will also leave this video below in the description. But remember that it can be a great addition to your diet, and as I mentioned, it can go from breakfast to dinner. Let's talk a little more about how to add more kale to your daily routine. Consuming more kale in your daily routine will strengthen your eyes and vision because it contains many nutrients beneficial for the eyes. Isn't that interesting? It has beta-carotene, which is a precursor of vitamin A and is very beneficial for eye health. It contains lutein and zeaxanthin, which are antioxidants closely related to the proper functioning of the eyes and vision. So, if you are more concerned about this, adding more kale to your daily routine is a great option. Of course, when we think of kale, I believe 90% of people think of that sauteed kale with olive oil, garlic, a bit of salt, black pepper, the basic one that accompanies beans that goes with roasted chicken. Certainly this kale is delicious, but kale also works very well as a vegetable for you to consume raw. So you can finely chop the leaf, add a bit of lemon and put it in your raw salad. It's an option that many people don't know about and it tastes really good. You can use this raw kale leaf even in your green juices. Remember that I have several green juice recipes here on the channel. There's even a playlist with many different ideas and many of them include kale. This is because besides being super nutritious, kale has a very neutral flavor. So it's different from adding watercress to the juice, for example, which will have a spicy flavor. Kale has a very neutral flavor and it just adds that color. So it definitely won't impact the flavor much, and even for children or people who are more resistant, you can easily offer kale green juice. That's why I said it goes well from breakfast to dinner, because actually you can add this green juice to breakfast or an afternoon snack, and at these times you'll be consuming a source of vegetables which many people don't consume in small meals. Precisely because it has a mild flavor, it goes very well in some fillings as a side dish to some meals. For example, you can put it in the filling of a savory pie along with chicken or with ground meat, chop it finely, saute it, and it works very well. Or you can mix it into baked rice, adding more fiber to the rice, more vegetables, which ends up being a very interesting option. And one last way that I personally love to consume kale is when we mix it with eggs. It goes very well with an omelette. Saute an onion, a bit of tomato, add the kale, let it wilt, add the egg. It works really well, or even as a muffin. You make more or less this base. You can even blend it in a blender if you want. And then you can add some oat flour or almond flour, put it in muffin molds and bake it. It's delicious. Since its flavor is mild, it will have more of the taste of the egg and the seasoning, so it works really well. There are many other amazing leafy greens, other vegetables for us to add to our daily routine. Cauliflower, broccoli, watercress. I have many videos here on the channel. I have a playlist called Salad Leaves where I put several videos of these vegetables I mentioned to organize. And I have playlists here with many of these ingredients as main ingredients. So I have here a playlist of recipes with kale, recipes with cauliflower, recipes with spinach. I will leave several of them down here in the description to help you as well. Tell me down here, what is your favorite recipe with kale? I love kale with beans. I'll be very honest, I really love it. That well sauteed beans with olive oil and onion, and kale with olive oil, garlic. I think it goes really well together. Tell me what your tastiest option is. If you have any recipe with kale, I would love to see your comment, like the video, as it helps me a lot. And share it with those who will like it, with those who need it. Let's together expand this chain of good, which is what I want here with the channel. Until next time, bye.